Welcome to Wednesday Supper. My name's Tom Dickelman. Welcome to this fourth edition and the second week of Advent in the year 2020. Wednesday Supper is when we take a break midweek for about 20 minutes of a story or two and a couple of tunes from the Community Church Archives. The first tune for today is entitled My Last Meal by Jimmie Rodgers. It tells the story of a death row inmate who hears from the warden that no matter what, we're going to make sure that we get you exactly what you want for your last meal. And the tune is about, the lyrics are about the request that inmate makes. It's a great song. It's performed by Rob Sulsky and the All-Star Blues Band. It comes from our archive, July 21st, 2019. Thanks, Rob. Thanks, Blues Band. A story, a true story from many years ago. Los Angeles Times writer Gary Libman wrote a story called The Mother's Search for Russell Love many years ago. The mother was a woman by the name of Beverly Elliott. She lives in Houston. She'd not heard from her son, Russell Love, for over 4 years. She'd not had any communication for 2. But she knew that he was homeless somewhere in Los Angeles County. She contacted the sheriff's office. She contacted the FBI. They said they could be of no assistance. Well, she longed to get in touch with her son, so Mrs. Elliott ran 2 personal ads over a span of 12 days in the LA Times. And it was in October of that year, and it simply said, Russell L. Love from Houston. Anyone knowing where he lives, please call his mother collect 713-447-5968. Russell, your mother forgives you. Your mother will never forget you. She loves you. End quote. She hoped that maybe someone would see the ad and get in touch with her. Well, someone did. A man by the name of Ralph Campbell, who had been homeless himself for some 25 years. He read the ad, and he remembered recently that he was seated on a bench with 2 other people, one whom he knew, one whom he didn't. Well, he had a couple of extra sandwiches from a shelter he had been at, and so he passed them down to his friend next to him, and then that friend took the extra sandwich and made it available to the gentleman on the end of the bench, whose name was Russ. He said, Russ, here is an extra sandwich. He had a hunch that maybe that was just the Russell Love whom his mother was looking for him in the ad. So the next morning, he called a reporter. The reporter came out, and Ralph Campbell took him to some shipping containers in a parking lot on Western Avenue. There were some bedrolls there. He had a hunch that this is where Russell Love usually slept. Well, the next morning, bright and early as the sun came up, the reporter returned. There was a young, blonde-haired man asleep, rolled up in a yellow bedroll. When he finally awoke, he kind of half sat up and smoked a cigarette. The reporter introduced himself and presented his credentials and asked if he was Russell Love. The man said he was. Your mother wants you to call her, he said. Then he gave Russell the ad. Russell read the ad from his mother. Then he rolled up his bedroll, and without saying anything, he walked down Western Avenue, away from where he had slept that night. The paper with the ad and his bedroll underneath his arm. Russell did call home that next Friday. His mother told him how much she had missed him. They talked 3 times between that Friday and Monday. She said she would send him some money. When she got paid at the end of the month, she would send him some tickets for a plane ride home. Well, the money arrived, but Russell had to call home in order to get the proper identification to even cash a check. I'm going to see that he gets all the identification he needs, said his mom, so he can go out and get a job. I'm going to try and make it possible for him to rethink his decisions and come back into the world where he came from and where he belongs, and to make better decisions from this point forward. In some ways, isn't that what Christmas is about? About being contacted from home and given a chance to make some better decisions for our lives. God has reached out to us and said, I love you, and I'm looking forward to you coming home. And it's after hearing the Christmas story that it's our opportunity to respond and say, I'm glad God has gotten in touch with me and sent me someone to know about God's love and to know about how to live my life. Now it's time for me to make some changes and some adjustments and to go home again. Russell Love did go home. A follow-up article in the LA Times showed a picture of him and his mother together. It told all about their catching up and all the conversations with the family since his return, and how when they saw each other, they hugged and they hugged and they hugged. It feels great to be home, the article quoted Love as saying. It's nice to be with family after having been a traveler. It's a great question, isn't it? Do you and I have a home with God? Or have we spent our lives traveling away from God or Spirit? This Christmas is an awesome time to reflect on the fact that we have a home in a God who seeks us out. Amen. Now a song from last December 15th, the opera Cowgirls with a Mariah Carey arrangement of All I Want for Christmas. And then play that song from last December 15th. And then this. Friends, thank you very much for joining us for Wednesday Supper. If you enjoy our get-togethers, feel free to forward the link for this to a friend and tell them about us. We'd love to have as many people enjoy this as is possible. Enjoy the rest of the week. And tonight, to wrap things up, an extraordinary tune, super reflective, an arrangement by Ken Hall of a December 9th tune from 2018 featuring Kurt Yost on sax, O Come, Emmanuel. We'll see you next time on The Spirit to Take. And then you play that tune, and that's it. Thanks.